Hey, Huevos fam, this is Jesus. Just a heads up, this is part 2 of the previous episode, Health is Wealth. If you haven't listened to the first part, pause, go back, listen to it, watch it, then come right on back and enjoy part 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
I wanted to do it too, but I had the water bottle.
yeah, they're all right? Yeah. All right. We're back. GB and people.
And people.
If you made it this long,
Hey, what
guys,
the hell?
please. What? Anyways, guys, we're back.
Shit. I just wanted to do it. Shit. Oh. What are you doing?
I do this every year.
Exactly.
But guys, if you've made it this far, please make sure to like, subscribe, leave some beautiful comments. If you're on a weight loss journey, let us know how it's going.
We're rooting for you. Proud of you.
We're proud of you. Keep going, sweetie. And if you are on the YouTubes, make sure to hit the subscribe button, because every time I see the analytics, there's a lot more people viewing that is subscribed.
Then is subscribe.
Yeah.
Whack. Whack as fuck.
Don't be whack. Help us,
free.
Help us pay our
Don't be
bills.
a bitch. You're already listening. Might as well
Fuck.
subscribe.
It's free.
If you hate us, just tell us. That helps the algorithm too.
It's free.
Just put your comment in
Any
there.
publicity is good
La
publicity.
neta.
Facts.
But anyways, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate you. And thank you so much for being here and listening to our stories.
And check out the shop.
Oh, yeah. Check out the shop. Oh, actually, we're also going to be, if you're local here in San Diego, we're going to be in a little collective in Barrio Logan. I forget the name of it.
We'll drop that
We'll
once,
drop it out, yeah.
once we're there already.
Yeah. But hopefully by the time it's out, it all worked out.
Yeah.
Well, it is worked out. I just need to physically take everything there.
We need to stop being lazy.
Yeah. Motivation. But speaking of more challenges, and this weight loss journey. Sorry, the candy that we did not eat during break is kicking.
It's
I
the
don't know
sugar
what he's
rush.
talking about.
Sticking to her story.
Yeah. I feel like
Damn, bro.
body dysmorphia is a pretty big deal when it comes to either losing weight or even, I mean, for me, it was even like not losing weight too. It kind of became like a motivational thing, because like me not be seeing the results or like the physical appearance that I wanted to have also kind of inadvertently made me not have motivation for the gym, because I was just depressed, going back to your whole mental
The
health
instant
issues and stuff. Yeah.
gratification.
Yeah. So I just felt like that was a big part of it. I know I still kind of low key deal with it a little bit, not like as big as I used to. I don't know what you guys' take on this is, but I feel like some of my body dysmorphia just comes from continuously checking the scale.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always been pretty good about the scale, and I think that's why when I got to my heaviest, I was so shocked, because I never looked at the scale, and I do that on purpose, and I still do that. When I weigh myself, I do an in-body scan. Do you guys know what that is?
Yes.
You do. Do you know
No.
what that is? So an in-body scan, basically you stand up barefoot on this platform, and then you have your arms stretched out, and it sends like electro whatever through your body, and it reads your entire body for visceral fat. It does your entire makeup, and it will literally tell you the difference between your left thigh, your right thigh, which for me was super helpful for my scoliosis, because I'm very strong on one side of my body, and then the other side is just naturally not as strong because I'm very crooked on that side of that body. And the in-body scans I originally started with the purpose of evening my spine out. So if I knew that like this trap was a little bit less strong than this one, then we needed to up the weight on this one while we keep the weight on this one, so that I'm not just constantly lifting more and getting stronger on that side and making it worse. However, when you do it, it breaks down everything from your skeletal mass to your body fat index to your muscle mass.
It even tells you how much water you have in your body.
Literally, it tells you everything. So I will not weigh myself. I will only do in-body scans, and I usually do them every 1 to 2 months, which you should probably start doing.
Yeah.
Where do you do these? Is that not the Walmart ones, right? Where you stand on top of it?
Nah, fool.
Isn't that
Do you think this goes to Walmart?
isn't that for like Dr. Scholl's?
I don't know. I've seen those things. I've never.
For your fucking feet.
Okay,
He's
also
on the,
how gross
he's on
at
the vibrating
Walmart.
plate, and he's like, "Is this it?"
He takes a picture. Guys, I'm doing it.
I don't have the hand thing.
I've always seen it, but I've never done it. That's
Okay.
I just don't know what
No,
it is.
so you can actually.
Susan's just holding hands with somebody.
He's like, "What's the fat?" I'm like, "What?"
Goes
Yes,
up to
you're
the
fat.
farm and says, "Can you see my in-body scan?" Oh god,
You gotta
that was
send
funny.
something in me. Send
That was funny.
Now Jesus isn't allowed within 100 feet of schools. I'm just kidding. No, so it's called an in-body scan machine. You can look it up online, and it'll actually tell you where there are some around here. And they're usually at like either gyms or health and wellness clinics. Like the hormone clinic that is in La Jolla that I work with has one. Fit has them. So if you're a member there and you personal train, you get them for free.
The nutrióloga that we go to in Tijuana has one.
That's
Yeah.
the only reason I still go in person, because she does like online consultations.
But
I'm
the
like, I want my
in-body scan-
in-body scan,
Yeah.
so I go with
It helps, and it keeps track. So you plug in your phone number, and that's your ID, and so it'll literally track, and you'll see it over time, which has helped me a lot too. Because even going through my hormone stuff, or even when I'm on my period,
I'm gonna plug in my phone and pretend I'm you. So if we go to the same spot, I'm gonna go to the same spot. And use your phone number.
Like, damn,
and
what
just
happened?
Fuck with your shit.
That's fucked up.
that is fucked up. ¿A quién se le ocurre?
¿Y por qué le dices? O sea, nomás hazlo.
Celia's gonna go to Fit next week and be like, when the fuck did I? Well, I'm
Yo,
270.
that's gonna fuck. I'm gonna hurl myself off that building if you do that shit. I'm just gonna be like,
Why'd you
no.
tell me this? This is glorious information.
Do it to
You know how
Kelly,
many-
not to Sylvia.
You know how many phone numbers I have? Patrick's about to be fucking
No.
300 pounds.
Aw.
The nutrióloga didn't do it that way, so I don't think
Yeah.
everybody does it that way.
Yeah,
Because
most places do, but you have your little ID, you plug it in, and then it literally tells you at the very bottom, graph by graph. So the whole page will print out and tell you what you currently are with all your stats, but then at the very bottom, it'll kind of like show you the progress. Which there was 1 month I did it every single week because I wanted to see how my cycle affected my lifting and it was really interesting to watch like your water weight and when you're bloating. And so for women, I think it's also really beneficial for you to get out of your head when looking at the scale, because your body naturally fluctuates even just day by day by multiple pounds. And then by phase every week, you're a little bit different. Like I love waking up after my period's done and you're
It's
like
the
that
best week.
skinny, that morning skinny, and you're like, hell yeah, she's back.
and then you go to bed not back anymore.
No.
It's just in the morning.
Yep. Yeah, so in-body scan, I highly recommend. It's also good just to see it, and then you know what your baseline is, and then go in a few months and see how it compares. And it's just a really cool tool.
Yeah, it really helped me with my like water. Like I didn't realize that. I didn't think I was dehydrated because I drink water all day long, and then I learned that like my body wasn't absorbing the water I was drinking. So that it helped. I mean, it helped me in a lot of ways, but that was like one way that I was really impressed with, like that it did that, because like, oh, well, you know, I'm dehydrated. She's like, do you drink water? And I was like, yeah. She's like, are you
It's
sure?
like chronically, yes. You're fucking dehydrated.
Yeah.
That's true, because Bao has her emotional support water
This
bottle
is
everywhere.
legit an emotional
It stresses
support
me the
water
fuck
bottle, and I
out though,
drink out of
because
it
like
all day.
sometimes that shit has no water, and I'm thirsty as hell.
Because I drink it all day.
But we had just left the house, and the thing has no water. It's like, why did you bring this with you?
Because it has enough water for me.
Your own
Yeah, so it's
emotional
just-
support bottle.
Yeah, but I still do, like to this day, still check the scale.
Yeah,
like
you do.
Yeah. Back to the body dysmorphia part. I'm like you. I look back in time and I didn't have body dysmorphia back then. Like that wasn't the driver at the time. And I didn't have it when I was skinny, and I was too skinny in some occasions. And I didn't have it when I was at my biggest, because you're just kind of like, well, there's nothing I can do about it. And I've always been pretty healthy about my body image, where like I still didn't hide my body. I was in bathing suits even when I was overweight, and I didn't love my body. But what else are you going to do? Like, it's the only body you have. You got to love it the way it is until it changes. And so it's interesting to me now. This is what I was telling Mario earlier. I don't think body dysmorphia is talked about enough when it comes to the weight loss part. I think body dysmorphia, you sometimes generalize that with like people that have eating disorders like bulimia or anorexia, and their body dysmorphia is causing them to do these really harmful things to their body. But I don't think anybody talks about that process of after you've lost all the weight and you're at a new baseline, because I'm not at my skinniest or at my biggest, but I don't want to be at my skinniest because I'm a lot stronger. I'm like, should I get up and show YouTube my ass? It looks really good right now. But I
if you
just
subscribe to our Patreon, guys,
Then you'll be able to see it.
exactly.
for just $120 a month.
What? That's all you're giving my ass? Damn. I guess I'll work harder. Shit. Anyway.
Not what I meant.
Anyway, I feel like once you lose all the weight, I will immediately, whenever I feel bloated, like on my period, and I'm like, fuck, I'm gaining weight again. And it just, you automatically go there. And then this past Sunday, I taught an event, and going into the event, I was like at the height of my period, and I was feeling really bloated, and I was like, fuck, I'm gonna have all these pictures taken of me, and I don't even like the way I look right now. And then I got the pictures back like yesterday. I was like, I don't even look that bad.
Hey,
but it's that
yes.
body dysmorphia that kicks in where you're just like, oh fuck, like, okay, fatty, like, we're going back there. And it's not even like that. And that's been like my hardest mental battle right now, because it was never about the scale. It was never about what I looked like back then. But now for some reason, I'm like really triggered every time I feel like I'm even creeping back to those bad habits or back to that state. And I don't know. That's a deep-rooted trauma.
Yeah, it's actually really interesting that you bring it up that way, because it actually happened to me this morning. Because 5-6 days ago, I looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, 75 hard is working, right? And I was like, this is great. And then today, we like have had some little, we had a little date. We had to do our candy shoot. Like, I've been slacking a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, I'm slacking more than I was like at the beginning. And I like looked in the mirror today and I was like, that's it.
What did you
like,
do?
It's been 5 days and I'm already back to, not taking into consideration that I am on my period. Like I know my body changes a lot while I'm on my period, but I get when you put it into that perspective, like that is a type of body dysmorphia, because like you're beating yourself up over it, when in reality, like it's just a fluctuation.
It's not what you think.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's interesting that you bring it up that way, because for sure that happens to me.
Yeah.
More often than not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually in the same position, because when I was at my biggest, I didn't feel like I was at my biggest. If anything, I was hella fucking confident. Like if you would have talked to Fat Mario, like I was like, I had the biggest dick in the world.
Shit.
I conquered fucking lands. I was eating good and conquering lands, But
Se creía rey, literalmente.
I'll take that village and their food. I'll take that village and their food.
and yeah, I was super fucking confident. And throughout this journey, as I've been losing weight, like I had that same mentality where like I'll step on the scale. I was like, neta, güey, pinche gordo, no te hubieras tragado esos tacos anoche. And it did happen. Like Pao said, we've been slacking off a little bit. And after Valentine's Day weekend, I stepped on the scale and I was like, damn, I gained 5 pounds. And I like kind of beat myself up for like 20 minutes.
But you also fluctuate like 5 to 10 pounds a day.
Yeah. But
to our point, you look at that and you're like, fuck you. Why'd you hop off this train? But it could have just been the water you're retaining at the end of the day too.
And I know that. And like, I have to psych myself out of that, because then I will step on the scale the next day and I'm back to my normal weight. Cause like whatever my body processed or whatever my body needed to process, it processed. And I'm back to my baseline. And I'm
just
like,
say you took a huge shit that morning.
And I'm just like, this bad bitch is back. I'm hopping on that abductor machine.
Just popping.
But that's why the scale is so bad for
Yeah.
you, like mentally, you know. I feel like it's never a good news when you get
Yeah.
a scale.
Yeah, Pao the other day was like, I'm gonna throw that shit away, and I was like, no, it's
Yeah.
my baby.
You have your water bottle. I have my scale. Please.
Let me have this one thing. That's why when Jesus was talking about like he doesn't hop on the scale, he just like I don't know how
Like
he
gauge
looks,
it.
yeah, and how his
That's
how
smart.
his clothes
That's the way
feel,
to do
yeah.
it.
It's like I know I should be looking at life this way, but like I don't. It's still part of my body dysmorphia, and part of the whole like instant gratification that we were talking about earlier. I was so used to like, and I know this was like 15 years ago, but still I was so used to like just dropping weight so fast that I still want that. And I don't have the 20-year-old body. I mean, it hasn't been that long, but I don't have that 20-year-old body anymore, you know?
Yeah.
It's
Well, once
gone.
you hit 30, it's all downhill.
Oh, my knees are gone. My knees are shot. I had my MRI the other day, and they're like, "You need new knees, sir."
Yeah.
But it's a part of body dysmorphia, and a lot of I think society doesn't realize that men go through it too. Usually, you associate body dysmorphia with women, and for guys, sometimes it's hard because going back to the whole machista thing is like you don't want to like come to terms with your body dysmorphia. You just want to be like, I'm a man, and
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you go through that, Jesus?
For the listeners that don't know, what is body dysmorphia?
Let's
Finish
give
and
them a
sugar?
real
Yeah.
turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, they need to know before I answer.
It's when you look into the
Asking for a friend.
yeah, when you look into the mirror and your body just morphs.
No.
No,
I'm
I
a
want to
Power
give
Ranger.
Scientific.
I want to give like a proper. It's a mental health condition where a person spends a lot of time worrying about flaws in their appearance.
Oh, so there you go. For those that didn't know, but
Let me add this. These flaws are often unnoticeable to others. People of any age can have body dysmorphia, and it's common in teenagers and young adults, but it affects both men and women. Thank
So
you.
yeah, a lot of the time it's like
Proceed.
in case you guys didn't know, but you asked if I've thought about that.
Yeah.
or if you've ever gone through times like that, felt like feeling weird about your
Like
body.
dealt with body dysmorphia in any
No,
way.
I think it was kind of similar to how like I just never saw myself like I've always been in a
Like, oh shit, I'm fat.
yeah, like a very like yeah, like this is me, like that's why like I don't like little cars, you know, like I prefer trucks or like I don't know, I'm always at this state of like content. Like I have this natural thing of like I'm always at this stage where like I'm content with life. I'm not over stressing about things, and I think that's just something I never stressed about until it became an actual health problem. Like I was fine. Like I was always buying new clothes and like I didn't care about that.
Yeah.
And it's just until it actually like it hit, like real life hit, like, oh, you can get sick or you're probably having trouble sleeping at night, things like that. So, but I guess I never really, now when I started losing weight, I guess now maybe I'm noticing it a little bit
Yeah.
more.
See?
It's like, oh, I should take care of this or take care of that. More the hair thing too, but
Well, and I think even earlier when you were talking about how when you started gaining weight, but it was actually muscle, I
Yeah.
think that might have been
That's
a
body
moment for you.
dysmorphia. Yeah.
yeah, that's true. And it just wasn't
It
until I
creeps
started
in, yeah.
working out, started eating better, when I started paying attention to those little things. So,
Yeah.
so I can see it. So yeah,
It's funny when you said that though too. Like Pao had to psych me out of that one day too, because I've been lifting heavier, especially like on my leg days. And Pao was like, "Well, you're lifting heavier, bro. Like you're probably gaining more muscle." And I was like, "No, pues sí, tienes razón, but why did I
But
gain
why?
2 pounds? But why?"
yeah. At the end of the day, it's just how I look at. Oh well, yeah. I guess there's days too where like I feel like my pants maybe are a little tighter than usual. It's like, oh man, I should cut back on whatever I'm doing, right?
That's
so
body dysmorphia. Literally. Every little moment that we self-criticize any piece of our body and no one else would ever say that to you, that's body dysmorphia.
yeah. But I'm not a tough critic. I love myself, so
Aw, qué bonito.
Fucking hate myself.
Oh my god. And that's why you need to go to therapy. Ma'am,
Sorry guys, Ollie's.
Ollie's going ham.
I'm gonna need you to go to your bed.
Your grandma gave you a bed. Go.
Anyways, sorry.
Anyways, sorry,
We
guys.
can cut that part.
Derailed. But yeah, so it would just became like super unhealthy, and it still is. Like I'm having like a really hard time sometimes, like not stepping on the scale, and I become like super obsessive with it. I don't know. I need help, guys.
Gotta throw it away.
I know. Part of me does want to throw it away.
But
Throw
you
it
have to do it.
away.
I
Yeah.
can't do it for you. It has to be a
You're
you
switching.
thing.
It's okay. It's gonna be okay.
Start with like taking the batteries out
Yeah, I
and
was gonna
step
say, yeah.
on it, but you're not gonna see anything.
I don't weigh anything.
Light as a feather.
Like my friend sent us this TikTok where the guy has a food scale and he's like weighing out his chips and he'll like put one chip on it and it's like 0 calories. So then he eats it and then he puts another one and he's like, all right, and then he eats it.
That's
So in his
amazing.
head, he's like not eating any calories.
I wish that's how that
I
worked.
know.
That'd be
beautiful.
amazing.
But yeah, maybe that's your next step in your health journey, baby. It's
I'm a fan. Get rid of it.
Kicking the scale.
Get rid of it.
But it's my friend.
I'm gonna conquer your land and I'm gonna take your scale. Your scale's the first thing to go.
So if it's not
Yeah.
in the room after this episode,
book an in-body scan.
No, we
Book an in-body
yeah.
scan once a month, once every other month, and ditch the scale.
No, we've talked about it because I just recently went to the doctor and I was speaking about like levels being okay here, and I'm like, I know I'm not okay, bro. Like,
Yeah, y'all are lying to
yeah,
me.
I've been fat before, and this shit still said healthy. Like,
yeah, well, that was
Yeah.
one of the craziest things is that I remember you got I sent him to get blood work like all the time because I was like, well, at least let's like make sure you're like
Yeah.
doing okay there, you know. And I remember the first time that I sent him to do it, and he actually did it, and he came back and he was like, everything's normal, and I was like, how?
pero te has visto?
No.
Ah,
And it
perdón.
No, but I think in that time,
Instead of come again, she's like, I eat again.
shut up. In that time, I think that gave you. I think that gave you even more confidence.
Yeah.
Because you were like, well, I'm healthy,
Sí.
you know? And I remember thinking to myself, like, I just
Say something.
Say with your chest.
Because you were in your
Literally.
20s.
yeah, I
Yeah.
guess you were technically. Yeah. You see, after 30s, it's all downhill.
goes downhill.
What did you say the other day? Speak to your younger self. Well, I'm telling my younger self right now. After 30, it's all downhill.
To our kids.
No, I love my 30s.
I know. I have enjoyed my 30s so
Yeah.
far too. I've only been here for a year.
I was like,
It's
You're
been a year.
You
It's
all-
been
oh,
great.
yeah.
says the baby.
Yeah.
Just a baby.
Being blacks.
blocks.
I feel like this is good segue for some myths.
Yeah.
For M&Ms.
M&Ms.
Some myths.
Myths and misconceptions. Yeah, I think along the lines of body dysmorphia, a good myth to start with is spot reducing fat. I think one of the things I hate the most, especially being a fitness instructor, because there's so many people that are Instagram famous and I just feel like they're doing it the wrong way and it pisses me off. And the videos that are like, oh, do this for like a snatched waist, do this to get a bigger butt, do this for, and you can train something and build muscle in certain areas, but you cannot spot reduce fat. Your body composition and your genetics are always going to play a bigger role than anything else. And so you're just going to lose weight naturally the way your body loses weight. And you're going to get that more toned look as you continue to slim down. But there is no actual way to be like, oh, I'm going to do all these bicep curls and then I'm going to lose all this like forearm fat or whatever. Or I'm going to do my tricep extensions and this will magically be gone. That's just not how it works. And I think that also makes it really hard for people and you're setting people up for failure because people then go to the gym and if they don't hire a trainer and all they're watching are these stupid fucking videos that are these 5-10 minute like ab blaster things, you're not going to get a six pack that way, bro.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not going to happen. Your diet has so much to do with that. And so it's these lies of, hey, you'll look like this if you just do this. And that's just not like, there is no recipe for that. That's the worst one.
A long time ago, there was these videos. What was it? Hip hop abs.
Yes.
Hip hop abs.
Hip hop
Yes.
abs. Yeah.
I
Literally.
never saw them.
Damn, I
No.
feel hella old. Your mom's about to text me right now and be like, "Oh, what do you know
I
about
don't
hip hop abs?" There was another one. I was trying to look it up right now,
Damn,
but
¿cómo lo va a decir?
One more time.
was it Brazilian butt lift or something?
Yes.
Right?
I
Okay.
remember that
Brazilian
one.
booty
Yeah.
lift. Yep. That was like a whole. That workout was fun though.
So
we
is
had
it-
that videotape. I know, it was fun as hell.
Some Richards.
And that, thanks to that, that's why Silvia has such a nice ass. You see? Maybe
Brazilian
they
butt
do work.
lift.
What about the P90X?
What's
the
up?
P90.
P90X. Oh
P90X.
shit! I
Yes.
forgot about that.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
But is that also bullshit or?
Well,
That one involved
P90X
weights, no?
Yeah, that one's more like a style of everybody's got
working
their
out.
method of like.
I feel like that was like early
But they didn't tell you like,
in-home
oh,
CrossFit.
you're gonna be, or actually no, never mind.
Yeah, it's the workouts that tell you like you're gonna sculpt your abs, you're gonna sculpt your
Oh.
legs, you're gonna trim like a very specific part of the body. There is no way to do that. Period.
I must confess, I fell for one of these videos like a couple weeks ago. Well, I don't know. Maybe I'm
Jesus,
still working
squatting.
on it.
All right.
But it's regarding a double chin where like
Oh.
in between my workouts, I would just like make sure I'm standing up straight and just like look up straight and like kind of like extend your, like push your jaw forward. And supposedly that's supposed to help with
Well,
reducing.
because there's things that contribute to, like even when you sleep and your mouth goes open, it elongates your face. So I use like tape when I sleep, and I mouth tape because it keeps my jawline a little more snatched. But that's not like you're not building muscle in your Adam's apple. You know what I mean? Like
Todo
that's more,
mamado.
it's helping you sculpt. It's a big neck, broad neck.
I'm trying to
I've
find
been
my
doing
Adam's
my.
apple.
Yeah, well, it's I was actually talking to my personal trainer about this because he was making fun of how some girls will only go to the gym when they want a girl butt, but they'll only do the donkey kicks, but they won't do anything else because they
yeah.
swear like the donkey kicks because that's what they see online.
Yeah.
is all
Yeah,
these
Like
like
it's the
Exactly.
one
Yeah.
muscle.
What's
Yeah.
a donkey kick?
And people
I don't
don't-
know why I'm imagining a horse doing the back.
For the
Well, that's
Patriots.
kind of what it
is
looks like. Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. Well,
With both legs?
there's a machine that's
Oh.
specific for that,
But you can do it
also
without
do it
machine.
with like the you know where they do the
bands.
The bands.
Yeah.
They like put it on the all the way to the bottom, then they strap their ankle, and then they do a
And
kick.
they're doing the kickbacks.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. They're glute kickbacks.
Yeah.
Basically. And on the ground on all fours when you do it, it's the donkey kicks.
Yeah.
Put like
But,
a weight in between.
Like for glutes, for example, people do that one exercise and they don't realize that there's different exercises that you do for the top shelf, for the sides, and for the bottom. And so my trainer knows my goals, but after a year of working with her, my ass is like top shelf and like it's really round all the way around, but it's because I do everything from squats to hip thrusts to like everything. We work on all three posterior chains because it's not just like out to the side and that'll fix your hip dips. Like no, if you genetically have hip dips, you're not going to get rid of them
Yeah.
unless you get them surgically
Removed.
filled in or whatever.
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
feel like that's why a lot of people get like
That's what I'm imagining. That's what I imagine. Donkey kick.
Kind of.
insert picture. That's why people also get like unmotivated when they're doing this workout that they get promised, and then it just
Totally.
isn't working, and then they're like, "Well, my ass is just not gonna grow,"
And
it's,
that's
like,
why we
not
gotta
the case.
normalize hip thrust for men at the gym.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's embarrassing. Because like you see
could
all the
see
girls
why
like
you
doing the
wouldn't
hip
wanna do it.
thrust, and then like it's right. Well, at least in my specific gym, it's right in front of all the fucking mirrors. So like here I am, with these guys fucking bench pressing, and I'm over here like trying to grow my ass.
Just do them
Can we
here.
see
Buy
that
some
again?
dumbbells and put.
Is that the face you make? Amazing.
Well, that would be a little weird to see. Yeah.
No, what I started doing was I started taking dumbbells to like there's a back area of the gym, and I like working out there because it's all secluded and like going back to my
So
whole
your
like
little corner.
going back to that, I just get my workout and get the fuck out of there, and I'll do like hip thrusts there because like there's like other shit that I can like put my back on. Pause.
Yeah.
Right now, when you said that, it reminded me of the hula chair. You remember those?
Hula chair.
Hula
where you
chair?
get abs, and it's just literally the chair
Oh.
that's just you're just hulaing the whole time.
No, but I have seen the actual hula hoop band thing. Or you can it looks like a skeleton basically, but you can take off little parts, and like as you're losing weight, you take off like a chain. ¿No los has visto?
No.
Oh my god, look it up now.
Oh my God.
We've tried it all.
Yeah.
We've tried it all on this channel, guy.
Ask us anything. What's another good one we can start on?
Endless cardio for weight
Ooh.
loss.
I like this one. So I actually wrote this one down because I don't want to get it twisted. So when it comes to lifting weights versus cardio, I think that people automatically think if I do the cardio because it burns so many calories and I get my heart rate up, that's what's going to help me lose weight. And people avoid the weightlifting part, which is actually where you'll see more of the results. And one of the ones we wrote down was like, girls don't like lifting weights because they feel like they're going to get bulky. And that's not how it works. So for weightlifting, it builds muscle, which increases your metabolism, which contrary to cardio, yeah, you're burning a fuck ton of calories in that moment. But when you lift weights, that calorie burn actually lasts longer past the workout. And that's the part that people aren't catching on to, I think, because if people knew that and automatically assumed that, they'd probably lift weights more than they do cardio. So because you're burning during and after, that's what actually helps you to preserve your muscle and burn the fat. Whereas with cardio, you're basically just burning calories in that session. So you're creating that calorie deficit for weight loss, and it improves more so your heart and your endurance, but you will eventually plateau because you don't have that added element of continuing that burn throughout the day. And that's where you want to just have a healthy balance of both.
Yeah, and that is something that happened to me when I first started going back to the gym, because I used to work out a lot when I was younger, and then I completely stopped. So when I started going back to working out is when I started going to spin, and that's all I was doing. Spin 5 days a week, 6 days a week sometimes, and like that's it. And yeah, it helped at the beginning because I was obviously losing all the water weight, and because I was sweating like crazy, and I hadn't been working out for years, so obviously something was going to happen.
For sure,
to my
it's gonna
body.
work to a point.
And then I got to a point where, and I remember having this conversation with Mario, that I was like, well, like I mean, I'm still going to spin, like I'm going 6 times a week, and like I'm not losing any more weight, and like I'm doing all the food stuff correctly, and like it got to a point where I was like, I have to go back to the nutrologa and tell her it's not working, and then she's actually the one that was like, I'd like for you to like add some resistance workouts to your like your week, right? And I was like, oh, okay. And yeah, I mean, I did, not that I fell, it wasn't so much that I fell for the myth of like, oh, if I do weights, like I'm gonna get bulky.
Yeah.
It was just more of like the myth of like cardio will fix it all, you know?
For sure.
Like I'll just lose all the weight because I'm sweating so much and I'm doing all this cardio, and I just want to be thinner,
Yeah.
So
I feel like I lost most of the weight I lost doing spin. Like I spun for 5 years, and that's how I shed probably, I want to say like 70 to 80% of the weight that I lost was that. But then you hit that plateau because you need to add the element of nutrition. You need to add the element of strength training. And so now I'm on this journey with every space that I'm in. As much as I love spin, like I helped Verve remodel their whole room basically to include strength training, Pilates style movements, because people are realizing that cardio is just not going to do it. And I know, as much as I love doing spin, that my dream body is not in the cycle room.
Right.
It just isn't. Like my ass isn't perky because of the bike. It's perky because I started lifting and I started actually paying attention to what, muscle groups I wanted to focus on and strengthen. But yeah, people hit that plateau and then they kind of wonder why. And it's just because it's that, I think cardio is that instant gratification but then that instant gratification only gets you so far. And then you're not building that habit of like your body actually using that to continue burning off. So, yeah.
have you guys ever fallen for the cardio myth?
No, well, I don't know But I always have issues with when to do cardio, whether if it's like before or after weightlifting.
Everybody's answer is so different for that.
I feel like I've heard them all.
Yeah, and I just feel like because there is so much information out there, or everyone does have their own opinion about it, I always just get confused. But what I do is I just break it in half. Cause I was like, I'm just gonna do my own thing, and I'll do like 10 minutes like as a warm up, and then I'll do my weightlifting routine, and then I'll go back on for like another 10-15 minutes and just do like an incline.
That's smart. My trainer makes me do that.
Really?
She makes me split it.
Yeah.
We usually do some kind of machine at the beginning, whether it's walking uphill on the treadmill for my knees, or whether it's like the ski erg for full body, or she'll always start me with at least 3 minutes of a little bit of cardio at the beginning, and then at the end we usually end with something high intensity, whether it's box jumps or treadmill or the ski erg, and she sandwiches it on top and bottom.
Yeah.
I wonder if it also has to do with your goals, like what your goal is like where you should be doing the cardio, you know? Because like my personal trainer incorporates the cardio into our routine. So it's never like we're going to start with it or we're going to end with it. It's always like, okay, you're going to do these 3 workouts and then you're going to go on the ski erg. And now you're going to, you know, we're going to have a 4-minute reel at the end and it's all cardio based, but it's just like our goal with her is functional training, you know? So it's just like,
I was going to say that. I was going to clarify that when I'm doing the personal training, it is functional. So it's incorporated. It's incorporated within the routine. But when I'm in the gym, the traditional gym, that's when I split it, and that's when I'll do like 10 minutes of cardio, and then I'll do my full workout, and then I'll go back and I'll do like an incline, or I'll do the Stairmaster or whatever, a mix of something.
Yeah. And my cardio looks different, again, to your point, based on my goals. So if it's a full body day, we'll do the ski erg because it's full body, or we'll do the row machine because it's my legs and my arms pumping at the same time. But if it's a lower body day, she'll usually have me start on the Stairmaster or walking uphill backwards on the treadmill for my knee health. So especially if it's a day where I'm like, my knee's bugging me, she'll force me to start with that because she wants my knees to be lubricated while I'm also getting my heart rate up. So you should be training. Anything you're doing should, I believe, model your life. Like I love my trainer because she has clients that play volleyball and she'll make them do drills like moving laterally side to side, because if you go from not moving at all and then you go play tennis or you go play volleyball, that's how people fuck themselves up because you're not used to moving in that direction. And if you're not training for the movement that you're doing outside of the gym, then what's the point? It's like all those gym bros that just do like the same thing over and over again and they have zero mobility. Those are my favorite people that come to my class when they come to sculpt and they're just like, what the fuck? Because they're not used to moving their body in different ways that are more applicable to outside of the gym. And so I like, more power to you if you're big and you can lift and you're strong as hell, but if you're not also moving functionally, like you're going to go try to sprint on the sand and you're going to fuck up your Achilles because you're not doing those explosive movements in the gym. You're just focusing on lifting and hitting those heavy reps. So you should train for the life you want outside of the gym.
I actually had my first experience with the gym bro the other day.
Oh God.
Your first ever?
Okay, let me explain myself. They always say some of the gym bros or some people, you can tell they're just built like a fucking Dorito.
Oh yeah.
And they got no legs.
And they're just like super white.
Yeah. And I was at the gym. Again, my obsession with my fucking legs, and I'm hitting legs, and this guy comes next to me. So in the back room, there's 2 squat racks, and he pulls up next to me, and I am barely warming up, so I warm up with just the bar because I have fucked up knees. Plus, like I have really bad form sometimes, and I know myself. So when I start with squats, I purposely just only do the bar so I can just bend down, Mario, just go down straight down.
Work on your form.
And then I'll add weight. So this guy comes in and he looks at me, and obviously I'm still big. So he looks at me like, "Ay, este pinche gordo." And I'm just observing him, like, just do him. And you can tell this guy hasn't done legs in his whole entire life. But I'm just sitting there judging him, and then at one point I'm like, I gotta stop judging this guy because like I'm the one person I hate in the gym. But it's like, I'm sorry, this is a tangent. But basically what I'm trying to say is, guys, hit your fucking legs, dude. You guys look fucking ridiculous. Just fucking built like a fucking Dorito, and your tiny little legs that look like they're about to snap. Like it just looks really fucking stupid.
Like
I
SpongeBob.
would rather look like a fucking avocado body,
God.
but at least I have some thick ass fucking legs, rather than being built like a fucking triangle and some little tiny little
it
stubby
does
Tell me
look-
how you really feel.
it is the
I
most
know.
annoying
It does look really
thing in the world.
ridiculous.
Yeah,
It does.
and they're
It's
walking
really
around the
ridiculous.
gym like that fucking guy on Love Island, and they're like,
Oh,
yeah, like fucking Connor. They're just walking around with the fucking chest up, and I look down. I'm like, dude, what the fuck, you know? And it's
Poor
always the
Connor.
guys
go
with the
squat some.
yeah, and it's always the guys with either really short shorts or really baggy, like 90s style basketball shorts on. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh my God.
It's funny because
dude.
I know someone that looks like that, and that's like the only person that's coming to my mind right now.
I keep picturing Larry the Lobster.
Yeah, that's exactly
Yes.
what they look like.
Literally.
Yeah,
Oh,
sorry.
God.
That was
That's
a
exactly
tangent, but
it.
it just at one point I was really starting to piss me off, and I was like, okay, I'll train your lower legs with you, but can you show me the upper body? Because you obviously got that handled, bro. Like,
There you go. Maybe he's embarrassed to do squats at the gym like you are to do hip
my
thrusts.
hip thrust.
I will never get over that face. Kelly's got those thick legs
Yeah.
and that really nice butt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big
he
fan.
does.
As a woman, I don't know, the bony legs ain't it.
Yeah. No.
We want some
Definitely
meat
not it.
too, damn.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I have a question over like the cardio myths, and I don't know if this is necessarily a myth.
That you were gonna say about the legs. I was like, I
No.
love them. You know that meme?
I'm going
of
back because you
SpongeBob?
derailed us.
Where SpongeBob shows his leg.
Yes,
That's what I
I
love
know.
doing.
I don't know if this is a myth or maybe just like a misunderstanding or like misconception, but a lot of people, and I think myself included until I started to learn, believe that the only type of cardio there is like running or like going on the Stairmaster or the skier or, you know, but like in reality, you can be doing cardio in other workouts, right?
Yeah.
So like an example that I can give is like ball slams. Like that's
Yep.
a cardio, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I am asking because I'm not 100% sure,
anything,
but
so HIIT workouts, high intensity interval training,
Yeah.
anything that gets your heart rate up for long extended periods of time with the purpose of improving your cardiovascular and pulmonary health is cardio.
okay.
It could be
Yeah.
walking, it could be running, it could be biking, it could be even in my sculpt classes, there are some movements that we move a little bit quicker, and that's cardio.
Okay.
Because you're getting that heart rate up and it's not coming back down. You're just keeping it kind of at a steady elevation.
Okay.
So yeah.
I kind of wanted to like point that out for the listeners too, because I feel like that's something that I struggled with at the beginning
Yeah.
because I was like, oh, okay, well, I got to do cardio, which meant like I got to go run, I got to get on a bike,
Yeah.
I got, you know, and as
Yeah.
I like started going to my personal trainer, and she'd be like, oh yeah, you guys did like this much cardio, and I was like, where was the cardio? Like I
Yeah.
didn't do a skier, I didn't do which is the one that you pull. That's the skier.
That's the
and then
skier,
the
yeah.
row work. Yeah.
Yep.
So you know, so I was like, where like we didn't do any of those. She's like, well, and she started to tell me, and I was like, oh, like
Yeah.
that's actually really good to know because like here I am thinking like I have to
Jumping
get my ass on a
jacks.
treadmill. Yeah.
Literally jumping jacks will
Yeah.
get your heart rate up the same.
So you know,
Yep.
if you guys are doing those type of workouts, you're also doing cardio.
yeah.
What about dipping into ice cold water?
Oh, cold plunges.
Like cold plunging. So
Doesn't that elevate your
it
heart?
can, yeah. And then part of it is your breathing so that you bring that back. But that's more of a recovery thing. Like that doing consistent cold plunging is going to help you with recovery more than it's going to like get your heart rate up.
Yeah.
Jesus is like, I cold
Jesus
plunge
is taking
every
over.
day and now I'm a marathon runner.
really cold showers. Dipping in his foot first.
I used to do that every morning. Just cold,
Cold
showers,
showers.
like
I
first
know.
thing.
That's
in the
good.
morning.
That's
Yeah.
good for you. I
Not
can't do
anymore.
it, but
Me
it's
either.
really good for you.
I fucking cook in the shower, bro.
Yeah, me too.
The hotter the better.
I'm
Oh, no, I can't
I'm
do
like
that.
Goldilocks. It
I-
needs
I-
to be just right.
Come out that shit like a lobster. dude.
Yeah,
I
me
heard
too. I love
hot.
cold showers.
I heard hot water messes up your hair.
It
It
does.
It
does.
does.
That's why I stopped.
That's
doing
why
it.
at the end you just splash it with cold water
Mm.
Yep.
because it closes your pores.
Yep.
But going back to the misconception things, this is one thing I'm actually very curious about, especially because Jesus brought it up earlier, and in the notes I had it for just women, but it was not bodybuilding, but I guess weightlifting makes you look manlier, I guess, in a woman's perspective, right? But like Jesus said earlier, like he doesn't really want to do the weights that much because he wants to get thinner. But I guess that is a really big misconception too sometimes, especially in the industry when it comes to women. There's like a lot of, especially specifically, I have a specific example. It's my sister. She really wants to lose more weight now, but she's like, I also don't want to do weights because I don't want to look manly, or I don't want to look big or bulky.
That's a huge one.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I think most people just assume that you lifting is going to constantly equate to like mass. And that's not how it works. It comes down to your calories, period. So the only way for you to build size is for you to be in that calorie surplus. So that's why bodybuilders will eat way more protein. They'll eat things like asparagus, which kind of reduces the water weight so that it's just muscle mass kind of. And then they'll up the weight so that, all that's coming through and bulking is like that muscle and you're getting that really big, like toned out look. But they're also eating a fuck ton to get to that. So if you're keeping your ratios level to what you're burning and eating and intaking, and you're lifting weights, all you're doing is now actually targeting the fat because you're sparking your metabolism. It's when you increase the calories that you're still gonna build that muscle and get rid of the fat, but that's just gonna increase because you're feeding it. So the more protein you eat, and that's part of why I harp on people to eat their protein, because you need that protein to repair and to rebuild. But it's when you increase that protein significantly that you start to see the bulk. So as long as you're eating, like my calorie intake for what I do with my trainer is about 1,800 calories. If I were to go past the 2,000 calorie mark consistently while I do the workouts I'm doing, then I'm going to start to look bulky because I'm feeding that build that does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes total sense.
Yeah. So as long as you're just keeping your nutrition in check, lifting weights is actually way more productive for slimming down than cardio is. And I think that's what everybody gets wrong. But it is like, it's 90% your food too. So just making sure you're not eating too much, because eating too much is what is going to give you that fat gain or the bulkier look. Yeah.
I used to say that I didn't want to get bulky, or like that I didn't want to lift weights because I didn't want to look like manly, but because I was scared of lifting, because I was scared to hurt myself. So that was just like my way of making myself feel better, or just like not sound like I didn't, like, I don't know. It was just like that. Yeah. And I mean, this one I was like really like way younger, but I really did. Like, that was my excuse. It's like, no, I don't, like, I just don't want to do that because I don't want to get like really big up top, or just like make up excuses. And then like, obviously for me, it was like, it makes sense. And everybody be like, oh yeah, you're right. Because I feel like for a long time, everybody did have that like misconception. And like slowly but surely, I think people are like learning that that's not it.
That's like opposite
but
of the
there's
truth.
obviously, there's obviously still people that do think
for
that
sure.
way. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always gave the excuse that it's a lot better to hug a big guy versus someone that's muscly. Easier to cuddle with, like a teddy bear.
It's like there's cushion for the pushing.
That's
Yeah.
That just reminded me. Sorry.
Oh God.
Because one time, this is like with my high school girlfriend. She hugged me once. And I was a little chubbier. Well, not chubbier. Like, well, anyway, I was high school chubby. And then she was like, oh, I love hugging you. I don't like hugging fit guys. And because she was like, because it's hard versus you, that you're a little squishier. And then at first, when I reacted, I was like, oh, that's cute. And then I was like, wait. Who you hugging?
Like, this dude just called me fat. And who the fuck else you hugging?
Who's conquering your land?
What's his name?
Bet he doesn't have these legs.
Does he hip thrust?
but yeah, that definitely was something that like, I know scares a lot of people is looking, at least women I know, with the girls that I've talked to that want to like start losing weight is afraid to lift weights because they think they're going to look bulkier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the case.
Yep.
Yep.
So lift your weights because it's going to help you lose more weight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there things that you guys tried that like didn't work for you?
Like workout wise?
Mm-hmm.
Not that I could think of.
Or like you just stopped doing because you weren't motivated?
I don't love a yoga class.
Really?
Yeah, I used to go to yoga a lot, but I would go to yoga sculpt, and that was like what I liked. But I didn't love like, well, okay, and I know I haven't taken your class, so I don't know, but I don't love a bar class either.
We don't do bar. It's a sculpt class. It's like Pilates mixed with, we have a bar class, but I don't teach that.
Oh, okay.
It's called the Bar Studio because it's the Balance, Agility, and Resistance Studio.
Got it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So this whole time I thought you were teaching bar. Yeah, I don't know. I guess the class thing for me, I can take very specific classes, but I don't love like a lot of group classes, you know. I think that's one of the reasons I haven't tried Pilates because I don't know if I'm gonna like it. Like spin, I didn't mind. I liked the group, but because you kind of just get on your bike and do your thing, and I think that's why I liked it. Whereas like in the Pilates class, you're really following the instructor. Not that you're not in spin, but like it's just at a different
Pilates,
type of follow.
Pilates is that board looking thing, no? And like moves and like there's resistance to it.
There's also
a gentleman, Joseph Pilates, and he invented Pilates as a method. And Pilates can be either on the reformer machine, which is what you're talking about, or it can be mat on the floor.
Oh, I didn't know.
Like
I always see the machine thing.
Yeah,
because that's like that blew up pretty
Yeah.
recently,
Well, it's because
right?
I made it to Pilates TikTok.
Oh yeah.
Well, no, it's like guys.
Highway?
It's like guys filming themselves in Pilates studios.
Oh, that's the best.
Yeah,
they're
those are
like,
really
they're like
funny.
shaking.
favorite.
Yeah, and they're like, I can't
That's
believe.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I love like when the guys that do like sports or gym and they don't do any like mobility training, and then they come to Pilates and they're like, what the fuck is going on?
So,
it's the most humbling thing, and I love it.
And it's funny because like you see all the girls on like next to him, and they're like on that fucking
going.
machine.
Yeah.
And, like they're not moving.
Their core strong as hell.
Graceful in that shit. They're just yeet. And then he's just like trembling. Yeah.
Yeah, those videos
Yep.
are really funny.
Actually, now would be a good time to describe all of the workouts.
Yes.
So, types of training. There's strength training, which we already went through this, but focuses on building muscle strength, your endurance through resistance training. This will help you increase muscle mass, metabolism, which ultimately helps with getting rid of that stubborn fat. It'll improve your bone density, reducing your risk of osteoporosis, things like that. Enhances your functional strength for daily activities. So again, if you're doing functional strength and weightlifting, you're doing those movements that are applicable outside of the gym. And it actually supports your hormonal balance and your insulin sensitivity. So people that have diabetes, people that are dealing with hormonal issues, it's the best thing you could possibly do to go to the gym. Every trainer has different recommendations, but I feel like for the most part, everybody's pretty in line with like recommending 3 to 4 times a week for weightlifting. The biggest thing I think that people get wrong and then they overdo it is you have to allow at least 48 hours between working that same muscle group, which is why people go to the gym 3 to 4 times a week and they'll have an upper body day, and then 2 days later they have a lower body day. And then if they do upper body again, it's like an upper pull and an upper push, because you have to work the 2 different types of muscle groups, and then you'll have like a full body day 2 days later. So you can do a little bit of everything. So there's a method to that madness too. And I think when people go to the gym, and again, going back to what we talked about originally, and you're already overwhelmed, you don't know what to do. And then on top of it, you don't have like a rhyme or reason for why you're doing what you're doing. You're going to hurt yourself. You're not going to let your muscles recover to then get that benefit of actually building and continuing that progress. You're going to fatigue things and you're going to get hurt. So 3 to 4 times a week, different muscle groups every time and giving it at least that 2-day rest. If you do want to just do lower body in the gym, at least wait those 2 days and then you can hit that same muscle group again. Mobility training. I don't think people do mobility training enough because it's not enough to just do your strength training in the gym and to, functionally move in the ways you want outside of the gym. You also have to work on your joint health, your just overall flexibility. So, mobility training is Pilates, it's yoga, it's the one that I think people don't realize is mobility training. It's foam rolling, stretching. And so for this one, a lot of trainers tell you, do mobility work 1 to 2 times a week. I personally think people should be doing it 5 to 7 times a week because I'm not telling you to go to yoga every single day. I'm telling you one day do Pilates, the next day do a slow flow yoga, the next day stretch, the next day foam roll, then go back to a Pilates class, then foam roll again. Like it should be very just fluid, and that's what mobility work is. But mobility work reduces your risk for injury, improving your range of motion, enhances performance and strength so that when you go do those cardio and strength workouts, you actually do them better because you have a better range of motion. Alleviates aches, pains, tight muscles, poor posture, supports longevity, functional movement as you age. So again, anything from foam rolling, dynamic stretching, controlled articular rotations, and then there's the yoga and Pilates that also go into that. So I would say yoga and Pilates, maybe do that once or twice a week, but the other, 3 to 4 or 5 days, foam roll, stretch. That's enough. Like that's also mobility work that you really need to do.
I do love a stretching yoga class.
Yeah.
Like where you specifically
we don't stretch enough.
on
Nobody.
stretching. Yeah.
I don't know a
I
single
agree.
fucking person that stretches enough. Period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I think that's something that everybody could work on doing more of because I remember when I was little, they used to always tell me like, do your morning stretches.
Yeah.
And like I would. And like I just stopped doing them one day. And I don't know why I
Bring
stopped.
it back.
Seriously.
That's one thing I do need to incorporate more. That what I started doing when we started doing the 75 hard challenge was my Sundays at the gym. That was my stretch day. And I should have started doing it more. But I would foam roll and I would do like stretches. I would like look stuff up on YouTube and I'd be in my little back cuartito.
That's another one that you can do while you're watching TV. So people walk on the treadmill while they work, but one of the things I tell people to do is get a Theragun, get a foam roller, and literally while you're already just fucking sitting there, do it. Get on the floor on a yoga mat, watch your show, but foam roll.
I actually didn't realize that the gun is
it's the
a
same
form.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we have two
one.
of them actually.
We
Yeah,
have
we have a
one.
little.
It breaks up the fascia underneath. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's something
what?
that I did.
Really?
Yeah.
I have a gun. I've never used it.
Use it.
Yeah.
I have one. I rarely use it and I forget all the time.
We rarely use
Yeah,
it too.
we always forget that it's there.
and we
literally-
wanted one so bad.
Actually, Kelly's sister, she leaves hers on her coffee table so that
That's
she
smart.
just remembers to like use it while she's just hanging out
Yeah.
watching TV.
That's
Smart.
I work from home.
Leave it out.
I'm gonna do that.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that is one thing that I want to start incorporating more. Because back to what you were saying is just that longevity. That's kind of like the basis of why I started to, lose a lot more weight now is because when Pao started, it was more about like the health and the longevity. When I started, it was more the vain thing. Like I just wanted to be a skinny bitch. But now it is the longevity thing. Now it is that now we have a lot more kids in the friend group. Like I want to see my nieces go and play. Like I actually, when we start having kids, like I want to be able to get up and play with them and go to the park and not just be like, oh, mi espalda, like so. And that mobility thing is something I actually talked to my trainer about. Is like I want to start incorporating more because I feel like with the strength training, I'm okay with that. Like I can do that on my own.
Yeah.
But if no one's holding me accountable, at least for the mobility, I'm not gonna, like you just said, I'm not gonna do that shit.
Yeah.
Well, we got to do our morning stretches then.
I
Bring
did want
back
to.
morning stretches.
I did want to start doing like not yoga, but like stretching at night. Like sometimes we are just watching TV or
Yeah.
Netflix, and especially right after the gym, because we'll go to bed pretty early during the week, but when we come back from the gym, we'll probably be up for like an hour or two, and then we'll then we'll go to sleep. But it's like we're just watching Netflix. And I
Yeah.
was like, I could be stretching right now.
And we have the space
sure.
too. All we have to do is move the coffee
Yeah.
table. Like we
Yeah,
have the
literally.
whole area.
There's a class at Yoga 6 and they do like hot yoga. One of my favorite ways to do yoga is to go to Yoga 6 in Point Loma because they got really nice showers at that one. And I'll go there and take like the 7 p.m. hot yoga.
Oh,
And then
that's
I'm done
nice.
by 8. And then I shower there and I change into my pajamas and I drive straight home and I go straight to bed.
I
It's
love
the
that.
most
That's
relaxing,
awesome.
like incredible. And then because of the heat too, you're a
Mhm,
little
you're
more
so
flexible
relaxed.
too. So it just, I think that's like top tier
Yeah.
In my
yoga experience.
in my 40-minute sauna sessions, I do sometimes stretch.
Yes,
because
that's what you should be doing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
When your muscles are all, loose and warm like
Yeah.
that, you should be
Especially
stretching.
if I'm in there alone, because I get really bad hamstring cramps.
Take your foam roller in there.
Yeah, I'll do like
foam rolled in
hamstring.
there.
Yeah, As I'm in there conquering lands. I'm in there fucking spread eagle, doing all crazy
My
shit.
sauna. You will not leave until I decide you leave first.
But yeah, that I guess what I had in the notes was just preparing for like my elder years, and like I've worked
Yeah.
in like nursing facilities, and I've dealt with like the older population, and the only thing that we would really work on is range of motion
Yeah.
Yeah.
and mobility, because of like the harsh falls that they would sometimes unfortunately would happen and they couldn't get back up, and a lot of the times after these falls the mortality rate was super fucking high. And that was one of the biggest wake-up calls that I had, was when I was working in that industry, was that I didn't want to get to that point.
Yeah. Yeah. When that stares you in the face, it's not pretty.
Mm-hmm.
And to your point, I think that, so there's the 3, the last one's cardio,
Mm-hmm.
right? So cardio for the cardiovascular health, for the pulmonary health, but you need all 3. So ideally in a perfect world, you're strength training 3 to 4 times a week. You're doing mobility work, ideally every day, but maybe like if you're applying mobility work to a workout 1 to 2 times a week. And then for cardio, I think cardio is like a 2 to 3 times a week. Some people say 5 times a week. But in your old age, one of the things that I found out in my research, and this is I'm really nerdy about longevity. We talked about this earlier, but I've been into blue zones for so long. And I love that Netflix put out a documentary about it, because I think they did a really beautiful job of visually bringing to light all of the information, because this is years of research that this gentleman did to find out why are the people in these 5 areas living so long, and why don't they have dementia, and why don't they have heart conditions. And I went further into my research and found out that basically it comes down to your grip strength. So if you can hold on to, I think it's 70% of your body weight for more than 2 minutes at a time.
You're gonna pull a bar.
Pull-up bar is your whole weight.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's
even
right.
just
Like
kettlebells or
like farmer
farmer
Farmer-
carries.
There you go.
Farmer carries. My trainer will make me do farmer carries, where I'll carry a lighter weight up high above my head and a heavier weight below, and then I'll switch. And she'll make me do it up and down the stairs, back and forth on the turf. But being able to hold
I just
onto
did those
something
today.
for extended periods of time, ultimately, when you start to get that shake, that's when you start to decline. So working on your grip strength is actually super, super important. And you only do that while holding on to weights, holding on to your body weight in the gym. And then the heart health part with the cardio, but then the mobility, to your point. If you're not used to your knees getting up and down off the ground, so in the blue zone areas, for example, they're either culturally sitting on the floor to eat, and so they're used to that range of motion all the way up and down off the floor, or they're gardening into their older age, so they're just used to motion is lotion. You have to keep moving things to keep them lubricated and keep them healthy. And even, I know you can relate to this, even now I'm 33 this year and my knees are fucked. I'm having to consciously incorporate walking backwards uphill slow on the treadmill just to strengthen my knees, because I do a 3-mile run and I'm out of commission for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like I can't run, period. My knees can't take it. So just doing all 3 of those cornerstones makes it so that if you fall when you're older, which you inevitably will, because it happens, you're just not, your bone density is so good from the strength training, and then your mobility and range to get back up after the fall is so good that you're not going to have a heart attack and like, ya te acabaste.
Or life
You
alert.
know?
Well, it's a better chance of recovery.
Exactly.
When you said a
Yeah.
grip, I don't know why my mind went to like opening a jar. I was like, damn.
Literally,
like, I
yeah.
better.
Yeah.
Literally.
Oh, so that too?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's helping you. Like,
Yep.
helping you be able to do when you're older.
And there's sometimes I can't open a jar, but
Yeah.
My dad used to have
Count
those.
your days.
I think they're like grip strength worker thing. This
Yeah,
looks like the
yeah.
clips.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to love those things. He used to have like a set of like different strength or like different
Or even like when you do those, like the weighted balls that you like.
pause.
I was like, I already know this motherfucker's gonna say something to me.
He went
Anyway,
like this.
that's what you do.
I bet.
Yeah, ask Kelly. I don't know. Double purpose. Good for my health, good for his health.
There you go.
2 birds, 1 stone. Where's my butt? Come on,
God,
sleeping
Mario.
today.
speaking of workouts, is there a workout that helps you get to, I don't know why I want to get to the point where I can chop wood, you know?
You've been watching
TikTok?
that guy on TikTok, huh?
Yeah, I want to be that guy,
Okay.
I think that's strength, right?
right?
Like,
Yeah.
But
Like
how would I
arms, shoulder strength,
just
back
grab a
strength?
dumbbell?
No, well, I think you would have. Correct me if I'm wrong, but like you'd have to work on
A lot of
your
shoulder.
upper body strength. Yeah,
Yeah, shoulder
it's
and
like a
upper
lot of-
body and core.
I feel like
strength.
wood chopping is like
The
almost
workout.
How
full
much
body.
wood would a woodchuck chuck
It
if a
is.
woodchuck could
'Cause,
chuck
like,
wood?
Su madre.
I'm gonna invest in wood and an axe. I'm just gonna be in my backyard.
I guess it is full body.
It's
Yeah,
kind of because it's
you
also
could
need
do
your
the
legs.
ski erg because that's going to
Yeah.
be top to bottom because you get up on your tippy toes.
Oh, yeah.
So that's all the way from core to arms. You would need to do a lot of shoulder work. So I would work on, upper, like pulling. And then you could, they have workouts that are called wood chops. You literally take a weight. I'm going to demonstrate it for you. You take a weight, you go like this, and you're just literally like, and it's a core strength workout this way, and then you do it this way.
you can do that with
It's
kettlebells
okay.
too.
We'll get
Yeah,
you a
that's what I
little.
was thinking.
Yeah. We'll get you a workout routine for chopping wood. For the work you want to
Sonny
do outside
makes
of
us
the
do
Because
gym.
that.
I want like a party trick. Like I can chop wood and then just.
Yeah, that'd be
Brings
dope.
out a piece of wood and an axe.
and an axe. Casual.
That's not scary at all.
Whoa.
That's probably gonna scare some girls away. I don't think it's gonna bring them to you. I'd be scared. Like he carries an
I
axe.
know, once
He's
I-
gonna kill me.
Montana, I don't know, but not here.
Ask me when I chop that wood what they say.
Like I'm still scared Mario might kill me when we get married. Like imagine you come out with an axe. I'm just kidding,
Just
guys.
had
I'm not
this.
actually scared of that. I watch too many movies.
Help. If you need help,
So
let me know.
who did that recently?
Yeah, the Cumbia King's wife.
Yeah,
at a
right. I was like,
concert.
yeah.
Axe party trick?
No.
No.
Oh,
She asked for help. She asked for help at a concert.
Yeah,
she
she
was
asked-
in danger from her husband,
Yeah.
oh shit.
and then she ended up in the ER that night. Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember her name. It's
I
some
don't.
Mexican.
Yeah, I don't remember
singer.
either. Yeah, but I did remember seeing the.
The TikTok it
Yeah.
blew up.
Yeah, well, she did
she's
it like super
she's like
slow.
saying bye, like it's
Yeah.
like her last song, and she's saying bye, and she stands there and she puts her hand up, like just like saying bye, and then you just see her thumb go down, and then her hand goes up, and then she leaves, and then that night she ends up in the ER. Yeah,
Oh, shit. Oof.
yeah. Anyways,
Horrible.
Anyways,
we derailed.
mobility.
Mobility.
Damn, that went dark.
Yeah.
Maybe it was me.
Yeah.
I started it.
It's okay. It happens. No, not the.
No, that doesn't happen. It's
should
not okay.
happen.
Call me.
we're all here. We will help.
Not what I meant. My bad.
Anyways.
I think that was a good myth. I think that myth a lot of people really do think is true, you know? Like I think with time, like there's been so much science and so much research behind it that our generations and younger generations are going to know better, you know? But I think for a really long time, like I'll give like a personal example. Like my mom, and I mean myself, I do too sometimes, because I'm like, you could be doing more for yourself. Like my grandma sits in a chair all day, and so my mom gets really frustrated that like she doesn't do anything, you know. And I understand the frustration from my mom because she obviously wants her to be able to do things for mobility, for her longevity. Like, you know, she's older, so it's not like she's not helping herself by just sitting in a chair. So I share the frustration of like wanting my grandma to be healthy and better, but like this is what my grandma saw growing up, you know, like these are the generations. Like I remember my like great grandma, for example, like just sitting in a chair always. Like that's what I remember from when I was little, is that sitting in a chair in front of the TV in the kitchen. And that's what my grandma saw growing up. And so then that's what she thinks is normal. Like, this is just what you do when you get to a certain age, because I want to avoid getting hurt, because I don't, you know, I did it for so long. Like I cooked for so long. So why am I going to cook now? Like I don't really have the need for it.
Yeah.
So like little things like that, where these older generations, it's like what they saw. And so now the younger generations aren't necessarily going to see that. And I'm not saying that there isn't gonna be that in the world, because there is. There always will be, you know. But I think there's less of it, and more,
and there's just more awareness. So. And that's the thing with blue zones. The reason that they found these places to be different than that is because, like the one in Greece, for example, there's a lot of walking. There's a lot of hills. There's no roads. You walk to get everywhere. And so it's not that people have gym memberships and they're lifting weights all crazy. It's that it's literally part of their lifestyle and their culture. And like in Italy, in Sardinia, it's a land that's been like conquered in multiple wars, your favorite subject. And these people have had to adapt to just living off this land and the fishing and the walking and going uphill. And so it's not even that they're doing anything even remotely close to what we're like struggling to do just to find that health and wellness. It's that these places were naturally, either culturally or historically speaking, had these attributes of just naturally incorporating movement into their lives, naturally having to bind together through community because of all the wars that happened there, naturally getting together because culturally it's acceptable to fish and hunt what you gather and drink that wine ceremoniously. So yeah, you drink, but you don't drink in excess. You drink socially, you drink very like politely. So unless you grow up with that, then you don't know any better. Right. And same with me. I didn't grow up playing sports. My parents are not athletic people, so that wasn't part of my culture. So then when I gained weight, I was like, fuck, like where do I even start? Because it's not something I grew up with. I don't even know how to begin to tackle this. So you only know what you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's always possible to learn.
Yeah.
See.
That's true. Yeah. Because for me, it was the total opposite. Like I grew up doing sports and that's all I ever knew for like the longest time up until like I was like 22, 23.
Yeah.
And then I stopped playing sports and then my life just became all work. And then that's when that's
and
honestly,
then you were just sitting all day.
Yeah, and that's honestly where I saw
clubbing.
Yeah, literally, I was. Yeah, that's when the majority of the clubbing happened, and then we opened up Vitality Bowls, and then I was just sitting there back there, not eating my own product, just out there eating like Spam Masubi's.
Hell
Fucking
yeah.
crazy.
I love Spam.
And you're allowed to eat
Yeah.
Spam Masubis.
Yes.
Which brings me to my next topic, guys, is the myth of carbs.
Yeah. I love this myth.
I fall into
Not
this.
the myth, but like I love the.
I fall into this
We
a
love
lot.
that it is a myth.
Yeah.
'Cause
And
it's
what I mean
carbs.
is like carbs are bad for you. And
You do fall into this
I
one.
fall into this a lot.
I
And
have to fight Mario to eat his carbs the way people fight their kids to eat their vegetables.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll take yours.
But I think it goes back to las traumas de vivir en una casa latina, where it was
For
like
sure.
it was like the
Yeah.
corn tortillas and the flour tortillas and like obviously the things that they would cook with, not just my mom, but like everybody in my family, like my grandmas, my tias, everybody. But, you know, it was cooked with things that weren't necessarily good for you. And it was always the carbs.
The seed oils.
Yeah. So
Well, and I feel like in a Latin household, the carbs are always the first to go too, because they think that that's the bad one.
Yep.
You know.
Yo, el
That's like the
pan.
culprit,
Yeah.
yep.
And even not so long ago, I was still living at home. My dad would go to the doctor, and the doctor, the first thing that she would tell him or my parents is to stop eating so many carbs, to let go of the bread and let go of the tortillas. And
Yeah, of course they are. They just need to teach you which breads to eat
Yeah.
and how to eat them.
and I guess that's like one of the biggest, at least for me still, is
Yeah.
one of the biggest myths is like carbs are good for you. They help you. Well, you guys can take over because
No,
I'm an
I mean,
expert,
you're
yeah.
And I'm like,
So
you're
they are
killing
good?
it. Carbs are good.
Yeah.
They're a form.
Well, they
of
help you stay
energy.
full longer. So, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Silvia or Bao, but so when I started diving a little bit deeper into like the whole carbs thing, was they explained it to me. It was like, if you want to, like, let's say for example, I'm going to hit a hard day of lifting weights or whatever. It's like, it's better for me to eat carbs before my workout because that's going to help me push through my workout and then just focus on protein after. So technically they're good for you. It's just like, how do you use them and which ones are good for you?
Yeah.
What if I put rice in my tortilla?
Well, that's
Double
double,
carb
carb.
up.
So
Yeah.
It's like
Extra
carb loading.
benefits.
Well, it's
Yeah.
like, it's like the carb
Yeah.
loading in the office.
Well, that's why marathon runners will go have like a pasta the night before a race.
the one
I've heard
reason
of
I
that.
want to run a marathon, so I can eat the pasta.
Yeah, it texted our group chat.
Mary.
Go to the pasta dinner.
Exactly.
I texted the group chat with my suegra and pal today, and I was like, I'm like 60% sure I want to do a marathon.
For the
Only
pasta.
60.
Only 60 though, not there yet.
And it's the noodles talking.
It's not the Patsy you
Because
that I
I'm
just
really
ate.
craving spaghetti and meatballs.
No, so carbs do give you energy. And I think that is a big misconception. People just automatically equate carbs to fat. It's the sugar that's in those carbs. That's the bad part. So all the breads, the sweets, the tortillas, the ones that
The
are
pancitos.
harina anyway. Exactly. So all of that in combination is just not good. And it's processed and it's shit. So the carbs you want to eat are like sweet potatoes and rice and like you just want
Quinoa.
Multigrain pasta.
exactly. So you want there's a difference between the healthy carbs and the unhealthy carbs. So the carbs that we're growing up thinking about culturally is the pan dulce and you know
El
the
pan blanco,
tortas.
like the pan bimbo, like
Tamales.
Exactly. So giving yourself less of that and more of like veggies, oats, rice. Those are the carbs that you want. So like in the morning, I love doing overnight oats with a scoop of protein powder, some apples, chia seed, flax seed, so I can get my fiber in. A lot of vegetables, people don't eat their greens enough.
Yeah.
And I think that if we did, we'd be more regular. We'd have our fiber. There's carbs in there too. So it's just it's not all carbs are created equal. Let's just leave it at that. So carbs are good for your body. Your body wants the energy, that wants the fuel. And carbs are actually really good for not just your muscles, but your brain health. But Pan Bimbo is not the one that's helping your brain health.
sourdough.
Exactly. And sourdough has good things for your gut biome too. It's like a probiotic
Some
too.
sourdough with some butter and some jam.
Grass-fed butter.
Homemade
low
jam.
sugar, low sugar jam.
And some grass-fed jam.
Esas pendejo.
Cage free.
So that also anything in excess is just normally bad. Like
Yeah.
if you're eating too many carbs and not dialing in your protein, your fat, then yes, all of it in conjunction is just like a recipe for
Bad.
disaster. So as long as everything's balanced, you should be eating your carbs. Like I'm actually almost like 30-30-30 split with how much I should eat of all of my food groups. Like I almost have to eat as much protein as I do carbs
Well,
Really?
for how much my
well, it's 'cause
output
you
is
do a
with
lot
spin.
of work.
Oh, yeah.
which works
Yeah,
out
I do a lot of cardio, so I'll do my carbs usually heavier in the morning because it's also easier for you to digest them in the morning. So, everybody's different. Consult your physician. I'm not a fucking doctor, please, for the love of God. But for
Don't blame
me-
Silvia.
Don't blame me. Don't come for me. But for me, with my lifestyle and what it is that I do, I love having my carbs in the morning. doing all my cardio in the morning because that's when your cortisol is also the highest. And then you kind of get that out of the way, similar to your point where you're like, you can have the sugar, but have it when your insulin's going to naturally spike. So if your cortisol is already high, capitalize on that and do your cardio then. And then for the rest of the day, taper down. Don't eat as many carbs at night. Do it when you're processing it better and you need it for that energy spike. And that's what works for me.
Yeah. So in a way, like this myth isn't, I mean, it is a myth because like, no, not carbs aren't bad, but some carbs are bad,
For
right?
sure.
Like you said, not
It's
all carbs
I think this
are
one's more of a
created equally.
misconception.
Yeah.
Because people don't take into account the type of carb. So it's not that it's a myth because carbs can be bad for you. Yeah.
Yeah. But like tortilla de maíz is fine. You know, like there are carbs that you can, and these are the carbs that I feel like at least in a Latino household is that we eat a lot too. A tortilla de maíz, like how many meals do you not eat with the tortilla de maíz? But that's the first thing to go when people think like, oh, I want to lose weight. I'm going to get rid of that, you know? And in my opinion, it's just not sustainable because you're always going to come back to these carbs. You're always going to come back to the rice. You're always going to come back to the tortilla. You don't always have to come back to the concha because in reality, that's just an extra and like an added carb, you know?
Yeah.
But the ones that you do come back to, I think it's it is okay to continue eating them when you're eating your balanced meal.
My
And
banana loaf.
Your banana loaf is
But it has fruit in it.
it has fruit. Yeah,
some
the
whole
most
grain.
sugary fruit. And then when you break it down, when you heat it
my
up and
God,
break it
those
down,
fucking bananas, man. Drive me nuts.
I know. I was gonna say something. I forgot what it was gonna add. It's okay. There was something I was gonna add about the carbs, but I forgot. I don't know. But eat your tortillas and bread. I have to fight this man in the morning. I was like, "Did you take your bread?"
Yeah, I forget.
Yeah.
You know what I didn't like? I just don't like the Dave's.
Well, tell me that. I didn't know that.
You don't like Dave's bread? What you got against Dave?
He's just too dry.
Oh, so you're
Put
not
some
gonna like
butter on
Ezekiel?
Even with a shit ton of butter, like it's
Get some
Really?
wine and
Dry.
vinegar.
I
Yeah.
love Dave's
Do you
bread.
like sourdough?
I fucking love sourdough.
Eat more sourdough.
Okay, well that's what I realized.
Oh.
Eat a
Because
fuck ton of
I'll
sourdough.
fuck up a sourdough bread.
I didn't know that you didn't like the Dave's bread until the other day that we were talking about it, and I ate
Get
I
this man some sourdough.
bought a loaf of sourdough because I didn't want to buy the Dave's.
Yeah.
And it's almost gone. So
Yeah.
it's like, oh, it's that.
Fucking
But you
love
gotta tell me
sourdough.
these
Good
things.
for
How am I
you.
supposed to know?
But anyways, guys, the point is también that everything in excess is also bad for you.
See.
So overdoing it with the exercising, overdoing it with the weightlifting can also cause damage. So just how it is, if it's the other side of the spectrum, which I know gets fucking confusing because I get pissed off at this shit all the fucking time because apparently everything is bad for me unless it's coming out of God's garden, grass fed and
Cage free.
cage free and animal free and
Pasture
Kosher.
raised.
cruelty and
Yeah.
Schwetz.
Cage free just means that they're in a really big cage.
and it was grass finished and then it got finished and all this shit.
Sweatshop.
Todo en exceso es malo.
Sí, todo en
Sí.
exceso es malo. Todo en exceso.
Yeah.
Mexico warns you too.
Oh, it does, yeah.
Yeah, I got the
Exceso-
little-
Exceso
Little black
grasa.
labels.
Yeah.
Have you ever
Azúcar.
found yourself in a situation where you've excessively like worked out that it got like to be bad for you?
My obsessiveness with my legs. Yes.
Okay.
I think that's part of the reason also why my knees are so fucked up because I will go crazy on a leg day. I will like PR that shit and like have my PRs be like my normal set. Or I'll try to like I'll go heavy and I know I can only do like 5 reps, but I'm like pushing for the 10.
So you're hurting yourself more than you're actually helping
and
yourself.
then I'm over here like lifting with bad form. I'll do a squat with bad form, and next thing you know, my lower back hurts, and then my knees are hurting, and I'm just fucked up for the next 4 days.
So it's just a toxic trait.
Yeah, but I love seeing. I'm going like this. I love wearing
Don't
the little
listen to those guys. Wear your shorts next time.
and I'll be wearing my little short shorts, and then I'll walk, and it's just pa.
Oh, shit. It's like that.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it has happened specifically with that where I like I'll overdo it on a weight. And we just talked about it the other day where I was trying to hit a PR and I was like, don't be a bitch. And I did like 3 more reps maybe. But that's just my obsessiveness. And I have gotten really hurt or really injured doing
Yeah.
stupid shit. Yeah.
I mean, like once in a while, it's okay to like hit that.
Like a PR. Yeah. It's gotten to the point where like sometimes I'm like squatting and I know I'm going heavy and I'm like, I'm about to snap, but I'm going to look like a bitch if I don't re-rack this right now.
Be careful.
Yeah.
Ay, Mario, no quiero terminar en el ER contigo, okay?
Pues no vayas.
What about you, Silvia? Would you say there's been a time in your life where like, not even with like working out, but with anything that it's become like excessively bad?
No, I think I'm pretty lucky. I don't have like an addictive personality. I don't ever do anything in excess. However, I am very severely overworked. I think I have sidestepped and swerved around burnout for a very long time, and I think I'm there. I think that I didn't want to admit it, but a few weeks ago, I think I hit a wall where I was like, I think I'm really burnt the fuck out. Like I'm there, and I think I've been there for a while, and I think I've just avoided it. But I think part of why I can't lose those 10 stubborn pounds that came on with the hormone health stuff is that I think I'm like chronically stressed. I think my cortisol is so high right now, and I think I'm just completely overdoing it, and I don't have a choice. Like I wake up at anywhere from 4:30 at the latest 6:30 every day, even on Saturdays. I can't sleep in. That's my one day to have off, and I'm usually up by no later than 7 because I just can't even sleep in. And I'm working out early in the morning for teaching my classes, and then I go all day working, which is another hell in and of its own. And then if I don't have Toastmasters on Monday, then I have a class I teach on Tuesday, or 2 classes on Wednesday, or I'm here with you guys on Thursday. And by the time I get to Friday and it's date night with Kelly, we're exhausted, and we've been doing at-home date nights more than anything. And then Saturday comes along, and that's the only day I maybe get to rest, but I still have to be up on Sunday morning to teach again. And then I have to reset for the week. And I've just been in this cycle for so long that like it doesn't matter how perfectly I track anything right now, how much I'm working out. Like I'm not even doing anything that much different. And my body's like, hey, fuck you. You've been doing this way too long. So this, see, you got to play the whole thing. Like,
You want the whole thing?
¡Ya, güey! ¡Pinche pendejo, güey! ¡Ya! ¡Pinche vato, güey! ¡Ya nada, güey! ¡Pinche vato! ¡Ya, güey!
Silvia's body too, Silvia.
Ah, te bañaste.
that's that. But this past week I finally told the bar studio, I was like, I can't do PM classes anymore. Like that has to be my new limit. My last limit was I need one day where nobody fucking bothers me. Not my property management job, not my fitness jobs, nobody. Like Saturdays are just for me. And I've been honoring that, but I think now my next step is the night classes. Like, cause I enjoy doing this because this is for me. And other than this and date night, I don't have a single other night that's for me. And I still had client meetings tonight, and I still don't have a lot of other nights where I can meet with them. So then I'm cramming a lot into very little time that I already don't have. And I think that it's not that I'm willingly doing it in excess. I think I just haven't put the right limits in place, and I just continue to fine tune it, which I think is all you can really do. I think that's the theme overall of health and wellness and fitness is you got to find what works, and you're only going to stick to the shit you enjoy. So find what you love, do what works, and then constantly just keep tweaking the little things. Don't look at all your macros and go, well, I have to eat this many carbs and this many proteins and this many this. Like, just eat enough protein. Just start with the protein. Then maybe if you know that fat or sugar or carbs are your problem, tackle that next, and then move over to the next thing. And I think it's when you look at the big picture, like I was doing, and like, well, I have to do all this because I'm financially stressed. So if I can't not work, I can't drop these classes. But at what cost? I'm exhausted. I'm not going to lose the weight I want to lose. I can't even be fully present with my people. Like, what's it all for if you're just going to run it into the ground? So No, I don't think I've done anything in excess. However, I have seen people come to classes and hit that point of going way too far and get hospitalized for it. So also show up, but honor your body where it's at. I say it all the time in my classes. It's not about showing up and giving 100% as in I have to give 100% effort. It's about giving 100% of what you have. Yeah. And that means if you woke up that day and you're like, fuck, I'm exhausted. I'm at maybe 25% of what I could possibly give output wise. And I can't even run that 1 mile. Don't fucking run that mile. If you know you can't do it that day, don't do it. You're at 25%. You're not going to be able to give 100. Give 100% of that 25 and just leave it at that. Yeah. Like there's no need to go past that. It's not healthy. Period.
You got to practice what you preach, sister.
I'm leaving. I gotta go.
Didn't know I was gonna get yelled at today.
Shit. I was really dishing it at the beginning of this. Oh, how the turntables. You're right. But no, you're right.
It's just one of those things where like you do have to do for yourself what you do for everybody else and what you tell everybody else to do, you know, because what you say in your classes a lot of the times, and I would say 100% of the times, resonate with everybody in the room, and you help them out so much that you do have to listen to what you're saying to other people for yourself. And I know it's hard. Like I know that it's way easier to, you know, instruct, give the class and tell them what you know is in your heart. But you do like, I mean, you've hit the point where you've reached burnout, and now is the time to start to tweak again, you know, like you tweaked all the little things that you needed to tweak a year ago. And now you're back at this place where you're like, okay, now I need to do like, I need to change other things too. And I think what you just said right now, like listening to those words are going to help you so much.
Yeah. Yeah. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
It's okay. It'll be okay.
You're not wrong, but can you stop?
No, actually the 25% thing and there's, well, you say a lot of things that stick with me, but the 25% thing and the you can do anything for 30 seconds live in my head rent free. Like I'm in my mid workout. I'm like, it's just 30 more seconds. I could do anything for 30 seconds. Yes. But it's just, you know, like, that's why I say like what you say in the room, like really does stick with people. And like, yeah. So just have to listen to yourself too. I love you. But yeah. What about you, Jesus? Anything you do in excess besides gaming?
And damn, called the fuck out.
No, she's on a roll.
I didn't mean it in a bad way.
It's a bam, bam, bam.
I mean, I do game a lot, and I do watch a lot of anime, but that's like my hobbies.
Yeah.
Something actually, the only thing I can think of recently is actually during my, you know how I mentioned earlier that or last episode, that sometimes I call myself a bitch for like, oh, if I'm not going to make that 1 mile, I'm not going to run that 1 mile. I was like, what's the point of all this? So there was a point where I was trying to get faster every time I was going around Roar Park. But there was this one time where I was really exhausted because what I do is I run and then I do my workouts at home. And one of those nights I felt like really fatigued. Like I was just like, I can't finish this. Or like I finished it and I was just dead. Like, and I was sore. Like, it didn't feel right. And then also another time I was running, I was trying to get faster. I hurt myself. So the next 2 days I was kind of like almost limping. I was like, okay, I need to stop worrying about finishing a set or finishing faster. I just need to do it. And at the pace, like you said, right? Give it whatever you have that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you realized it and you made the change.
Now there's days where like, sure, I'll take an extra 20 minutes to do my lap around the park, but at least I'm doing it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
It really is about that, you know. It's like at least you got yourself there, and it's just, you know, you put out what you can that day. But
yeah, or like if I'm running and then I do my workouts, like for example today I didn't run because I had this, but I still put in my workout in between. But the days I do run, I do a little bit less workouts at home just so I make sure I'm not doing too much.
Are you still doing 100 push-ups?
So when I run, I do 50. I put 50 push-ups, 50 sit-ups, 50 squats, and other side little stuff that I do, like biceps and shoulder. But But when I don't run, I do the 100, 100, 100. I have to. That's like my thing.
Damn. That's dope. I like it.
Me too.
Overachiever.
Aye. Well, I did my first push-up ever the other day, and I was so proud of myself. I seriously had never been able to do like a real
Really?
push-up. Yeah, I have zero upper body strength.
It's
Like
hard.
I've never
It
had
is hard.
like good upper body strength. And the other day, my trainer was like, "Do the freaking push-up," and I actually did it, and I was like, "Oh." I did
I
one
love
though.
when that
That's as far as I
happens.
got. One.
That still
But I was
counts,
like,
dude.
that's my first push-up ever.
You know what helps?
What?
I make people do this in my classes. Take a workout band, like a resistance band, put it right above your elbows.
Okay.
So that it's like literally clamping it shut. And when you do the push up, the band helps you spring up a little bit easier. And you can practice, even if it has to be a girly push up on your knees, but just practice it with the band on, and it actually helps spring you all the way back up from your push up.
I'm gonna try
It's
that.
helped a lot of my girls who were like, I can't do push-ups.
Yeah.
And I was like, the fuck you can't. Put that shit on. And then they're able to do even just like 2 or 3 because you're assisted.
Yeah.
in just being able to get back up.
I'm gonna try
It
that.
helps a lot.
Thanks.
It's like my, so I struggled first with my push-ups. Like I can barely do 10 in a day. And then now when I started incorporating the sit-ups, I swear like in the beginning, I could not get up. I was just getting my head up, if anything. It took a while for me to finally get something out of it.
Yeah. And now you feel like you're. Like
No,
you're
I'm not
pretty-
all the way there yet, but I feel like I'm getting off the floor, if anything. So
Little by little, it
It
really
all
does help.
counts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like just consistently doing
Consistency.
it. I used to be really bad at lunges, and now I feel like I do them like nothing. Whereas like before, like I would fall over and like have
Yeah.
zero balance.
you
You
couldn't
know?
walk after.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we do them
literally.
so much that I'm like, oh yeah, it's like second nature now. So that's good.
You're like, y'all don't walk like this?
Yeah. Lunging
Y'all
through
don't
my
just do
life.
this? Yeah. I was telling Paulina this the other day, but there's this trainer at the gym and I can't fucking stand him. He's just like, he makes inappropriate comments about women and people that are overweight, and he's a trainer. And I'm like, people pay you to help them. Like, you should probably be a little fucking nicer. Anyway, he had
I
this whole
digress.
thing. I digress. He did this whole thing where he was kind of alluding to like, oh, if you're on the treadmill reading a book, like that's not doing anything. That's not real cardio. And I was just so sick of his shit at this point. So I put him on blast on my Instagram, and I got a little bit of a like slap on the wrist for it because they were like, listen, we really want to like promote inclusion and we're all employees here. And I was like, well, that's why I posted it, because he's not being inclusive and he's not taking into account that, like when you were saying you showed up one day and you were like, fuck, I can't do this today and I have to walk it out. And what if that person that's reading their silly little book on the silly little treadmill, like they had the worst week of their life. It was like the hardest fucking thing in the world for them to just show up and walk. And you're going to really like
Belittle them.
yeah. And then he like clapped back at me. It became this whole thing because he was
It's his
a little
ego.
girl. Yeah. That couldn't handle the ego fucking kick. And
Dorito chip mentality.
literally. And yeah, that's Dorito chip bullshit.
You're giving real Dorito chip right now.
You gotta be a ruffle with the ridges, man. Anyway, he ended up clapping back at me and like go like hyper explaining like, well, it's about the VO2 output. I'm like, bitch, I'm a spin instructor. If you don't think I know what real cardio is, you're missing the point. You're missing the whole point of somebody showing up and maybe that's all they got today.
He was trying
If
to
we
mansplain
don't-
cardio.
Yeah. It's like, sit down.
Do your legs do this?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the main point being,
Showing up.
don't let anybody pressure you into what it's supposed to look like. It's about what it feels like. You do what you can until you can do better. And when you know better, you do better. And that's it. That's all we can do.
It's like that damn it, what's the show's name?
Joe Biden.
Joe or Bo Jackman, when he's on the floor and then the guy comes up to him and is like, it gets easier. Like every day it gets easier. But the hard part is just putting the work.
Yeah.
You just got to do it every day. That's
Yeah.
all.
And I feel like we all have good days. We all have bad days, you know? And there's going to be days where you're going to like leave the gym or leave your workout, finish your workout or whatever. And you're like, I fucking killed it today.
Yeah.
And there's going to be days where you're going to be like, damn, that was fucking hard, you know? And like, I really
get
struggled.
in my car and cry on some days. And I'm like, that wasn't it. I didn't feel strong today, especially when I was going through my hormone stuff. Yo, I got in the car and sobbed after sessions. And I'd call Kelly and I'd be like, how was it? I'm like, it's like, okay.
It was
One
great.
of those days. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're human.
Yeah.
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 Well,
Yeah.
guys, thank you so much for joining us today.
Was that it?
Yeah, it's pretty much it. Unless you guys have something else to add.
Yeah.
No.
Sleep in your workout clothes.
Soca.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I wasn't.
That's the
I was
last
gonna
one.
end with that. It was
Yeah.
just creating a space for success. I wrote in my notes about when she started her fitness journey, she would wake up hella fucking early, and she would literally sleep in her workout clothes because it was just easier to wear it, roll out of bed, brush her teeth,
Yeah.
and then go to her workout.
I had to get rid of any obstacle that would stop me. And one of the obstacles was like having to change because it was just an extra movement that I had to make in the morning. And when I tell you, even like now that I have my Aura ring, it gave me my chronotype, I think it's called. And it's basically the times that you're supposed to be sleeping. And my Aura ring, even though I wake up at 6:30 in the morning every single day, it tells me that I'm a night person. So it knows based off of like whatever's happening in my body during the
That's
day.
crazy.
That
I need one of those.
yeah,
So bad.
Honestly, it's definitely changed my life. We'll talk about this in another episode because I feel like it's a really good topic. But it tells me like I should be sleeping from 11:30 p.m. to 7:30 a.m. And I think 11:30 is so late. Like I'm in bed by 9:30, 10, you
Yeah.
know? And like I want to get as much sleep as possible before the 12 a.m. mark because like
That's crazy.
you learn that that's when like all these things happen, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, when I got that notice, I was like, it really is that like my body is just not a morning body. So I had to get rid of any obstacle that would keep me from going to the gym. And the two things that helped me were sleeping in my workout clothes and getting a gym buddy. So at the time it was Katia, and we would go to spin together and we would text each other. As soon as we woke up, I would send her a GIF, like a sleeping GIF, right? Like I'm a fucking tired GIF, and she would send it to me. And that was it. That was like the one communication
The
we
signal.
had. It was like, okay, you're awake, I'm awake. Like
We're
up,
doing this
you know?
shit,
And then
yeah.
I would brush my teeth, splash some water on my face, and go to class.
Yep.
Drink a Celsius. Was that the best thing?
I
No.
nerded out about that in the notes because my best friend Tabor does that too.
yeah.
And we always like thought it was so cute. And I don't know a lot of people that do that, but
That's
yeah,
funny.
If
Well, now
it
you know
helps,
too.
it helps. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I really did. So yeah, I think setting yourself up for success is definitely really good. Whether it's like taking your gym bag with you to work and just going straight to the gym. That's a conversation Mario and I would have a lot because he would struggle a lot with coming home, sitting down on the couch, and then not wanting to go work out. And I would always tell him like, take your clothes with you and change at your parents when you get back home.
Yeah.
And then just go straight to the gym. Don't even come home, you know, because you're adding that extra barrier. Like even for me on Wednesdays that I have it's a 7:15 p.m. Personal training session. Like it takes everything in me, especially right now that it's dark
Yeah.
and it's just so late
Yeah, that's
already,
late.
you know? So it's just like if I'm at work, it makes it easier to just like go straight there and change there than it is to come home and stay here and change and then go, because then I'm like dragging my feet. So I think that whatever works for your schedule and whatever works for you that makes the most sense, just do it. Like it doesn't really matter how ridiculous people think you are or like if you need somewhere to change. Like I've literally changed in my car. Like you just figure it out, you know, because like I don't know, like okay, well I don't have anywhere to change. Like if I'm at work, I don't necessarily like going to like change at one of the restaurants because that's like weird. You walk in one way, walk out another, and like I see so many people that I'm like, I'd rather change in my car in the parking structure than like change at the.
I'd rather risk the homeless man seeing my left titty. It's fine.
So yeah, I mean, whatever works.
Yeah.
For you will like really help you to just like get through
For me,
the
it's
beginning.
nutrition. Kelly always makes me my overnight oats, my shake, my athletic greens, and then I pack my vitamins, and then just depending on what day it is, every day is like a different formula. So when I teach my 6 and 7 a.m., I have like half my shake before class, half the shake after class with my athletic greens. Then I teach the second class, and then I have my overnight oats afterward. And then that helps like keep me full for a little bit longer. So I have every day, and we literally have like, I'm such a nut job. I literally have my weekly calendar, my weekly routine, and my pack list. So Kelly knows exactly what to like make me based on what days I do what workouts and what time I'm waking up. And so every night before we go to bed, he's always making me like my little lunchbox to take with me. Because otherwise, I'm not waking up at 4:30 and making a fucking shake.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't eat before spin when I was going that early. Like, are you kidding me? Like, fasted cardio, let's go.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think for this whole episode, you just have to find what works for you.
Yeah.
You know, when it comes to nutrition, when it comes to the actual like physical workout, for your mental health, like everybody is different. Everybody's formula is different. So you really do just have to find what works for you. And sometimes what works for me won't work for you, and sometimes it will, or sometimes some of it will, but not all of it, you know. So you just like talking to people really helps. I think that was like my biggest help, was just talking to, like, when I would talk to you and you would tell me how you would do things, and then like when Katia would tell me like what she was doing, or like my other friends, you know, and it's just like helps trying different things and being like, oh, okay, like that works for me, like this doesn't. Like for me, cooking for the entire week on Sunday is what works, because then I don't have to worry about cooking the rest of the week, you know. But some people don't like to cook one thing all week. I mean, I didn't, like, I just got used to it because I didn't want to be in the kitchen all week. But
I think getting to know yourself, getting your blood work done, and doing your in-body scans, the better you can get to know your body and how you work, the better you'll know what's actually going to stick and work, and why. I think the why is really important.
Yeah.
And it's not at Walmart.
You don't get your in-body scan at Walmart. No.
If anybody tells you that, they lying. Why you always lying? It's time for bed.
It is.
But yeah, I guess just the biggest takeaway: take everything that we say with I guess a grain of salt. Like Ross said, what worked for us may or may not work for you. Everybody's body is different.
This is not
Let it pique
advice.
your curiosity more than anything.
Just
don't take it verbatim. Let it encourage you to do your own work and research.
And I think Silvia hit the head on the nail, or whatever the saying is.
Almost.
The nail on the head.
It's your habitual, you know, changing your habits, you know. And I know it gets old and it's repetitive, and you've probably heard it like a million times, but it is those small habits that create, you know, the bigger picture. So if it is just starting with going for a small walk, and then once you conquer that, move on to the next thing, or cutting out chips, or cutting out something. And then, like what we said too, also every extreme is probably bad for you too. So if you want to have a cookie and you're craving a cookie, have the goddamn cookie. You're just not gonna die. Before. Yeah, eat
Cucumber.
Eat a pepino. You know, and like Silvia just said, is like, look for your why. Mine was not aesthetics. It was the longevity at the end of the day, and it was being able to want to hang out with my kids and my nieces and my nephews, and living a prosperous life as far as like my health goes. Like, I didn't want to be that viejito that was going to physical therapy because I couldn't lift my arm past my, you know, whatever this is, you know, I'm working on my range of motion. I work on that shit right now. And I posted something on Instagram a while back ago, and it came down to working out. And it was, the truth is, every time you choose comfort over effort, you make the decision to settle. One day when your reflection becomes a reminder of everything you ignored, it'll hit you. You had every opportunity to change. You chose to stay the same. And that's a burden no amount of time will ever lighten.
Yeah.
And it really is. It's like, I looked at my life and what it can be if I don't start changing these habits now, and what it's going to look like when I'm older. And I don't want to be a burden to my family. I want to be able to look back and be like, I at least tried to do something for a better life later on.
There's a video that circulated on social media a while back, and I think it was like a commercial for, or like some kind of marketing for something. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was a side by side of of two people, and it was like their life, right, from like when they were younger until they got older. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it shows like, well, this person worked on their mobility, worked on their nutrition, like had an active lifestyle, and this other person didn't, and like ultimately when they got older, one of them couldn't put their shoes on and the other one could. And then the other one couldn't feed themselves and the other one could, so it just, I mean, it went pretty deep. Like if you watched it, it was enough for you to be like, oh shit, like they're probably
70
right.
looks very different on different people.
Yeah.
There are 70-year-olds that are playing basketball, fucking elbow checking each other, and then there's 70-year-olds that need a walker and can't walk by themselves and have fallen multiple times. So yeah, just not being a burden to my family. The independence thing, it's not even that I want to burden other people, it's that I don't ever want to get to the point where I need other people.
Yeah.
Like I want to be as fiercely independent as I can for as long as I can.
Yeah.
Aries energy.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's true.
oh, better than.
Yeah. Yeah. I think overall this is a topic, and I speak for the listeners that like may listen to this episode and think to themselves like, nah, because it's definitely a topic that you have to be ready for to make the change. Like you have to want to make that change. You can't make anybody make the change. Nobody can make you make the change. It's just something that you wake up one day and think to yourself, like, I need to make this change now, And like, I mean, we went through it. Like I started going through the change before Mario did. And I, at the beginning was like, I don't understand why he doesn't like want to do it with me. And I would try everything. Like I tried talking about it. I tried just ignoring it. I tried leading by example, like everything. And to where it got to the point where I was even kind of like, it was affecting like my well-being. Yeah. So I was like, I have to just stop. Like I have to, not that I stopped caring, but I like about him, but I stopped I don't know what the word is, but like I stopped obsessing over what he was doing for himself. Cause I was like, he's going to come to it at one point, know, and I can't like let it affect me. And eventually he did. And it's been great, because I love to see that like those changes are being made. And I can speak to that for other people too, for you as well. Like when you started your fitness journey, I remember being like, dude, that is like awesome. Like I was so proud of, I mean, I'm still so proud of you, but like I was so proud of the changes that you were making, because it just shows that like, if you want to do it, you can, So, yeah, like I said, I'm speaking for like the listeners that are listening and are thinking to themselves, like, I know, like, I'm just not there, and like, it's okay if you're not there, but hopefully one day you wake up and you do, you decide to make these changes, because it really just makes such a difference. And it's not until you're on the other side that you realize how much of a difference it makes.
Yeah. And if there's any way for you to avoid that and do it before you have to.
Yeah. Even better.
More power to you. Because it sucks to get to a point where you're just like, oh, fuck, out of illness necessity. Like, in a perfect world, it would never get to that, but it does. And so if you're not there yet, like I really do pray that you don't get there, because it's not worth getting there. You're also very worthy of living a life that's healthy. I remember one of the first things my therapist had me do was, it's called the Bill of Rights. You go through these 25 statements, and one of them is, I have the right to be healthier than the people around me. And the activity was, I want you to rate each of these statements on a scale of 1 to 5. 1 being, I don't deserve this. And 5 being, fuck yeah, I deserve it. And when it came to things like, I deserve to, like about familial things, like I deserve to be happy despite like what people around me are going through. I was like, yeah, fuck yeah. And then when it came to, I have the right to be healthier than the people around me, I was like, well, no, like we all have the right to be healthy. All lives matter. Like I did that. And she was like, no, you're actually missing the whole point of this assignment. You should be scoring a 5 out of 5 for all of these, because it has nothing to do with anybody else. You do deserve to be healthier than the people around you, because it just means health for you. It doesn't mean no health for them. So
yeah,
don't do it when it's too late. Just do it now. Even the little things. It all counts.
and we're all here to answer your questions.
Yes.
So,
Here to help.
yes.
Yeah. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining us today.
Mari's like, I've been trying to end this bullshit. They just keep fucking talking.
God.
Cállate, it's bedtime.
You want quality content or not?
I know this is way different from what normal listeners, especially you day ones, are used to. This is more. It seemed more of like our interview style pods, but this is something that we've been trying to incorporate probably since the beginning when we told you guys that we were going to change things up. So get used to it. It's not going to be every episode, but we're going to try to incorporate these a lot more because we're all on a journey. And at least when I started, I felt like I was alone. Even having Bao as an example, in house, like I still felt like I was going through it alone. And just want to let you guys know you guys can do it too. I was over 400 pounds and now I'm here. Jesus, I don't even know how much you weighed.
380.
Beast.
Yeah, from obese to beast. That's what we did. Yeah.
That's a new t-shirt.
And buy the other one so we can make it, please. And yeah, you guys too. And we wish you well on your guys' journey. And if you're already fit as fuck, we'll fuck you.
Let me know more of your secrets.
But guys, como siempre, live your best life, fight your fears. At the end of the day, the only thing that you regret are the things that you did not do. So vive con huevos, guys. We out of here. We love you. Peace.
Bye.
Never thanks.
Yahweh!